And then I do a little bit more digging. And I go, what happens when the Batman comes back out? You know, issue 106. And I noticed something. It says $4.99. And then I look at the Justice League, and it says $4.99. And I look at Detective, and it says $4.99. That's the new price point when we get back from this future state.
So they're raising everything by $1.
They're raising everything by $1. At least from what I can tell.
Tell them why they're...
Welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I'm Bueller. Today is episode 106 of the brand new Coffee and Comic Show. As you can see, I'm not alone. I got my good friend Bob here with me. Bob, how you doing today?
Doing fabulous. It's a brand new year. 2020's behind us.
Yep.
Let's get going, my friend.
That's right. 2021. Happy New Year, by the way.
Happy New Year to you too, my friend.
You seem like your back's a little bit better today, so that's good.
Today. Yes.
It must be the year.
It has to be the year.
So that's pretty good. Yeah, 2020, just a pain in my back. You
exactly.
know, that's what it was.
A pain in my behind.
Exactly. Let's go ahead and start off with the coffee we're drinking. It's something we always do. Our coffee is brought to you by Mocha Express, the official coffee shop of Comics with Bueller. And let's just say everything comics. What the hell? We'll throw that in there, right?
Not a problem.
But I'm having a eggnog latte because they're going to be gone here pretty soon. Eggnog is seasonal, obviously. Mm-hmm. So every time I go in there right now, I'm getting the eggnog until it's gone. So let me take a sip. It's pretty good, but you know what? I got a cough drop in my mouth, so I'm tasting the mixture of eggnog and honey cough drop. So it's not bad, but it could be better, right?
It could be better.
It could be better, but it's not bad.
How's that eucalyptus, buddy?
It's great. It's great. What about you, man? What do you got?
I got a 4-shot cinnamon spiced Americano with some sugar-free vanilla sweetener. It's kind of foo-foo, but it's tasty.
Is there whipped cream in there?
No whipped cream.
Man, you should have put whipped cream in there. It is a brand new year. Look at you. Usually it's always just a pour over, and something basic or whatnot. But no,
pour
man,
over or a microdose or whatever.
Yeah, you're doing like some major thing now.
I got to mix it up every once in a while.
Well, there you go. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Do us a favor if you come into town. If you want to go have some coffee, let us know. We'll go have coffee. Eventually, they're going to open up the shop to where we can sit down again.
Yeah.
It's been closed again because they closed everything down yet again. Mm-hmm. They said it was for 2 weeks. That was like a month and a half ago.
That was like a year ago.
Yeah. I asked the owner the other day, I go, when you get over? He goes, I have no idea. Yep. So we don't know what's going on. So anyway, a couple of quick announcements. They're kind of cool. I did an interview on this other channel. It's called Small Town Collectibles. They had a 10 questions interview. And I was on there last week, and I think they put out the video sometime this week. So I'll leave a link to that in the description down below. So go check that out. It was a lot of fun. I liked it was a 10-question format. It was basically on how I got into collecting and the YouTube thing and a bunch of other stuff. So it was good. It flowed really well. I enjoyed myself. So check that out. I think he said it comes out on either Tuesday or Thursday. I don't know for sure. But do me a favor. Just go to his channel, subscribe, put the notification bell on, and you'll get a chance to watch it. You know, I didn't make too much of a fool out of myself. I try not to.
Right.
I do every now and then.
Every now and then.
Yeah. But I got something else and something really cool I want to share with everyone. And it brings me a lot of pleasure to be able to tell people about this next thing. And this is our buddy, Brett Hess. And I've been a fan of Brett Hess or Brett Hess art for almost day one. He's been a supporter of the channel. He's been watching us from probably the first month I made a video. He was on board. And I now get the great opportunity to say that Brett Hess has his very first comic book exclusive cover.
That is awesome.
That he's doing. And it's called I Breathed a Body. And it's by Aftershock Comics.
Nice.
And it's available right now.
Really?
And you can go order it at hive-comics.com. There's only 300 copies available. It's $14.99 for the basic. You can get the 9.8 graded ones or whatnot. I think that's available as well. Mm-hmm. Or you can buy them in packs also. So there's a few different options. But I will put a link down in the description below. Go and buy this book. I'm telling you because, like I said, Brett has been a supporter of the channel from day one.
Right.
It's our turn to do it back and to give him support and to show him some respect for what he does. He sent me some artwork. One of my favorite pieces is right here. Mm-hmm. If you've watched my videos over the last 2.5 years, his artwork, for the most part, has been in the background almost every video. And it's a lot of pride for me to be able to say that he's got his first cover.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, and I know he's pretty excited about it too.
I know he's got to be.
Yeah.
All I know is that as soon as we're done here filming, because I know on Monday when this drops,
yeah,
I'm not going to have a chance to be able to get it, so I'm buying mine today.
They'll sell out. You know, he has a unique style, and it's cool. I mean, it's stylistic, and I don't know how else. Brett would be able to explain it to you a lot better than I could, but it's just cool looking. And it has that factor. It reminds me of something. I can't remember what it is, but it reminds me of that certain artist that did all the things with the aliens and the stuff like that. I don't know. He probably knows what I'm talking about or whatnot, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so, I can't think of the names off the top of my head, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's awesome. Like I said, I have multiple pieces of his art that he sent me, and I want to get a copy of this book as well, and I need to get an autograph by Brett as well. That's kind of something I would like to have. So I would love to have his book on display in the background here. So congratulations, Brett. And do me a favor, go buy this book. It's from Aftershock Comics. Like I said, it's called I Breathe a Body. And it's actually spelled wrong on the when you go to the website, the Hive Comics. They don't have the D on the end of the breathe.
Oh, really?
So it's BREATHE, and there should be a D.
So it's just I breathe a body?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I'm not very good at spelling. I was like, is that right? I don't know. I couldn't tell. But anyway, you can find it on that website. So do me a favor, go check it out. Help out a fellow community member with his first cover. Help him sell out of all his books. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and jump to our first 5, brought to you by Comic Proline. Bob, you want to go first?
Sure thing. I got an A-OK this week from a good friend of ours, Eric Strubble from the Rogue Trader. And he sent me a bunch of books. It's pretty awesome. So he sent me the movie adaptation of the Batman 89.
Very cool.
Haven't had that in my collection for a while. He also sent me the Alex Ross cap cover, which is pretty cool. And then I got Spawn 307, which I actually didn't have. I was like really tripping out that I didn't have that in my collection.
Trippy.
And then he knows I like Ice Cream Man, so he sent me Trippy. He sent me number 5, and then I also have Ice Cream Man number 7. And so there's my first 5.
That's not a bad looking first one. I have a few of those.
Yeah.
I have the Batman one. I have the Spawn one and the Captain America one. I don't have the Ice Cream Man one though. Oh well, what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
Okay, I got my first 5, and these were sent to me by Len. And Len is actually, he makes his own comics and stuff like that. Independent publisher. It's actually Lenovationpress.com. I tried to get that right.
Right.
I knew it when I saw it. I was going to have a hard time with it. But it's Lenovationpress.com. And let me show you some of the books he sent, because they're pretty cool looking books. This is Section 12 Declassified number 1. And number 2 from that title.
Very cool.
And this is Section 12 Flashback number 1. And number 2 from that one as well. And Section 12 Lost Adventures number 3. And I'm going with 6 books.
All right.
Because he sent 6. This is, I like this one, The Adventure of Tracksuit Man.
Tracksuit.
Number 1. I mean, that's like me right there.
There you go.
But he sent us these books, and he wrote us a note. I want to read part of the note here real quick.
Sure.
He said, Dear Travis, a.k.a. Bueller, says, I am a new subscriber and Insomniac YouTube fan. I've been watching your YouTube videos and have been entertained for a couple of weeks now. You and Bob make a great team, and it's very enjoyable watching 2 guys who generally take their love of comics and share it with the world. I have avoided comic-related web series because all they tend to talk about are key issues, investment potential, movies, blah blah. How much money will this book be worth? I'm sick of all that and love to see that you 2 guys are true fans. Digging gold out of 50 cent and dollar bins, and even when it isn't gold, you are treating it like it is.
Absolutely.
A true appreciation for the medium. I love that you are able to do YouTube thing for a living, following your dreams and work with the comics all day. How cool is that? It is also a dream of mine to work with comics too, but in a different way. So his different way was making comics.
Which is amazing.
And you can go to their website. I mean, these are current books that you can get right now. Like I said, it's Lenovationpress.com. You can go there, or you can go to www.section12comics.com and find out information about these books, or you can order the books. I think you can probably order digital copies or the physical stuff. And, there's more to this note, and it's really, I want you to read it, when we get done. But I just want to say thank you, man. The kind word you said, because that really does kind of sum up me and Bob.
Absolutely.
Quite a bit, how we feel about comic books. And we kind of make a point to kind of hit on that type of stuff. It's not the dollar value. It's the, we just like comics in general. And I also want to say, Bob kind of ruined it earlier.
What?
But we have this artwork behind us. And this was actually sent to us by this guy.
Really?
Yeah. So, as you can see this one right here. We got Luke Cage. We got the cat, whatever her... Hellcat. We got Hulk. We got Nova. We got Thor. We got one more behind there. You can grab that one.
Look at that.
Yeah, what did that say?
There's DD for Bob.
There you go.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. Check that out. That's just beautiful.
That's cool, man.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Great artwork.
Yeah.
And thank you for thinking of me.
Yeah, man. So there you go. That came special for you. So I mean,
that is awesome. That's going to go up on the Wall of Fame.
There you go. That's awesome. And he came over. He goes, "Oh, well, there's a Daredevil." I go, "Don't look at that." He's ruining the surprise. I wanted it to be live on camera. So.
I'm sorry. Daredevil catches my eye. I'm going to say something
there
about
you go.
it.
What are you going to do? But Len, thank you so much for sending these books and stuff. Like I said, if you're interested, we'll leave a link down below. You can go check them out. And they're pretty cool. I was looking through them. They're fun books and stuff. And the artwork's good. And they're nice quality books as well. We talked about that last week. That goes a long way in my book. And we always like highlighting independent publishers or just people who have a true passion for comics, like he did, and went out and just decided to make his own. So I mean, it's a labor of love, is what it is, and it comes in all different forms. And that's pretty cool. So that's my first 5.
That's an amazing first 5.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Anyway, so let's go ahead and jump to our topic.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Let's go for it.
What's our topic?
Our topic has to do with...
Really, Bob? It's your idea. This topic was your idea. The topic is reboots or relaunches.
I couldn't think of the word. I don't know why.
His idea. He's like, "Oh,
you leave that in, I'm going to kill you."
No, it's staying in. It's staying in, man. It's totally staying in.
I couldn't think of the word, man.
That's all right, man.
Relaunches.
So that's our topic.
Yeah.
And our topic is brought to you by Blackbox Comics. Go to blackboxcomics.net. Enter the code Bueller. Check out and you save 10%.
Oh, man.
So there you go.
Dude, there's a fly in your head.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, so like I said, our topic was, and like I said, this was Bob's idea. He came up with this a few weeks ago, and we kind of held off on it because I liked it when I heard it, but I was like, the timing has to be right.
Yeah.
And the timing is right this week for this topic, and the reason why is because of future state for DC.
Yeah.
Now, should I just do it right now? Should I just get it over with?
Your rant?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Just go for it. Let's just get it on the table.
So, here's my thing. I got my card and everything here because I had to write this stuff down. So, Future State is DC's newest version of their books. Basically, it's not even... I wouldn't even call it a reboot or a relaunch. It's just like, hey, we're taking a break for a few months, and this is what we're going to put out in the meantime type thing.
Right.
And what they're doing is they're taking all their titles and they're putting them on pause. All their regular titles, Batman, Detective Comics, Superman, that type of stuff. Not like the Black Label. That's still coming out. And then they're just redoing all these things with kind of different characters, I guess. Mm-hmm. I don't have a problem with that. I get it, but it's like a 2-month event. This is what I have a problem with. And I found out when I was doing some research. The price. I'm cheap. You guys all know that. I'm a cheap guy, okay?
And but this is ridiculous, though.
It is ridiculous. And let me just get this out of there. So as I was doing my preview video last week, I noticed a trend when I was coming across these future estate titles. I was like, that's kind of weird, and the price is a little bit higher than I anticipated. Maybe it's just because it's the first issue. I get it, and always the first issue is always a little bit more. So I go and I get to the it's called The Next Batman, okay? And that's their big one, obviously. So issue 1 is $7.99. I was like, okay, I get it. It's a thicker book. They got multiple stories because apparently they want to tell more than just one story now. They want to tell some random story that doesn't have anything to do with it. Mm-hmm. So then I went and I go to issue 2, and issue 2 is $7.99. Issue 3 is $7.99. And issue 4 is $7.99. This is the regular cover. This is not the card stock, which is $1 more, $8.99, or all the variants and stuff like that. This is the regular price, $7.99. So I was like, well, maybe that's an anomaly. Maybe it's just that one. And then I go Superman World of War, issue 1, $7.99. Issue 2, $7.99. Another one, Superman of Metropolis, issue 1, $5.99. Issue 2, $5.99. Dark Detective, number 1, $5.99. Number 2, $5.99. 3 and 4, both $5.99. Whatever that starting price point is for the number 1, that's the price for the whole series for this whole entire Future State run. Now, there are ones that are $3.99, and, that's great. But some other ones, Green Lantern, the Justice League, the Suicide Squad, Immortal, Wonder Woman, they're all $5.99 titles for the whole run. Issue 1, 2, 3, or 4, whatever it is, they're all that price point. It's not just the first one, it's the whole thing. That's a nice chunk of money that they're asking. And I was like, that's kind of crappy. I think that's, I get it. They're little thicker books here and there, and they're telling some extra stories. And then I do a little bit more digging. And I go, what happens when the Batman comes back out? Issue 106. And I noticed something. It says $4.99. And then I look at the Justice League, and it says $4.99. And I look at Detective, and it says $4.99. That's the new price point when we get back from this future state.
So they're raising everything by $1.
They're raising everything by $1. At least from what I can tell.
Tell them why they're doing it.
They're putting in extra, like I said, little extra story that doesn't have anything to do with it. Okay, so if you like Batman, and if you want to buy Batman, you're going to pay $4.99 for the regular cover, not, like I said, $1 more for the card stock, and you're going to get a Batman story, and then you're going to get a Teen Titans story, or whatever. I'm just throwing it out. It's going to be a random story, a little 2 or 3 page thing or whatnot, at the end of the book. I don't want that. I want Batman because I'm paying for Batman,
right?
And I don't want to have to pay an extra $1. I mean, I complain about paying an extra $1 for the card stock all the time.
Yeah.
And now I got to pay an extra $1 for other stuff I don't want. They're just putting in there. I don't know. When I went down the rabbit hole and I kind of found that out, I guess we're paying $4.99 now. I guess that's what the price point is for the bigger name titles, in the 2 months, and I can't find any titles past that. I've been looking for 107 and 106. But from what I understand, they're staying at that $4.99 price point. So this future state is just a jumping on point for them to jack up the price initially, and then go down a little bit. You see what I'm saying? They're putting up at $8, and then when we get back, it's only at $5. Even though when it started, it was only at $4.
Right.
So it's a little bit of trickery right there.
A little bit.
So I don't like that. That's it's kind of different from the whole reboot thing or whatnot. But that's my rant. If it comes to if we're 3 or 4 months down the road and we're still sitting there at $4.99 as a new price point for DC books, I'm done. I'm not going to buy them anymore. I'm like, you know what? If I can get good quality content for $3.99, which is the regular price point, because we've already talked about the prices. Even Image Comics have come out and said prices are too much for books. The head of the company said, yeah, the $3.99 price point is too high. He said that last year.
Yeah.
And, Spawn's $2.99, and now they're going to have $4.99 books as the regular price point, and $5.99 for the $1 extra piece of paper in the book. I don't know. I think it's just kind of a sleazy way of kind of roping us into it, and that's what they're doing. So
yeah. I mean, what do you think about how long do you think it'll take before other companies raise their prices? Because now one of the big two, their normal price is $4.99.
That's usually the case. That's the problem. That's usually, it's like once one person goes, and if they see the sales are still there or whatnot, or if it doesn't affect the sales, then hey, if they get away with it, why can't we?
So we're going to get gouged all the way across the board.
Yeah. So eventually, what's going to happen? It was going to happen, but I think this way it's a little sneaky. They're not really advertising, our price is going up.
Yeah.
But yet when it comes back to us and we get our books back, our regular books that were literally taking 2 or 3 months off. And not to mention the simple fact that Batman has been so good, okay? And now we have to wait 3 months to get it back. It's like right in the middle of probably the best Batman run there's been in years. We're putting a pause. That's ridiculous.
So you've laid out the facts, my friend. Let me just ask you a question. How does this make you feel?
It makes me feel used. I'm used. I don't know. I don't know. It just makes me feel like I'm being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And, we show these companies our support all the time. And, I don't think it's reciprocated the other way. Last week we talked about Image and how, fan friendly they were with us, the people we talked to and kind of the extra stuff that they do. I will be honest, I've talked to every publisher that there is, except for DC. I've never had any contact with them at all. I've reached out to them, nothing.
Yeah.
Not a word. I've talked to Marvel, I know the people there, I've talked to Boom, talked to Image. All these people have reached out to me, not a word from DC. I like DC. I have DC titles on my pull list. I still get them to this day. But when I see stuff like this, it's just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You guys can do better than that. I know you can.
Yeah.
And when I hear like Jerry Conway, he goes on a thing on Twitter a few months back and he's like, this is what the publishers need to do. And he lists like 10 things that just make total sense. And I'm like, why don't publishers do that? And he's asking the same thing. Why don't publishers do this, for the market? And they just don't listen. And I don't know, maybe that's the reason why DC's at the point they're at.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Great rant, my friend.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
It needed to be said, though. It really did.
For that, the future state, for the most part, I'm passing on. I'm probably going to pick up maybe the Swamp Thing one. And if I get a chance, I might read the Batman one, but I'm probably not going to buy it until I find it for $1, months down the road. Because trust me, it'll be $1.
Yeah.
In those at our store. So, but the Swamp Thing one is really the only one that interests me. That's only like a 2-issue thing, and then after that, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't really care. So.
I'm actually getting the first issue of each one, and I'm doubling down on the Batman. Batman's the only one that I'm going with the whole series for because I like the concept.
Yep.
I think the first African American Batman is way overdue. But having Lucius Fox's grandson or whoever the descendant is, gaining all of this stuff and becoming the Batman makes total sense. Yeah. And I can't wait to see it.
So that's who the Batman is?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
Oh, really?
Honestly, I really haven't paid much attention.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard that they're different characters, but honestly, I didn't really pay any attention to who they were because it lost me from the very get-go, to be honest. So.
And the only other one that I'm really interested in is the Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Because they're making the main character Brazilian. Okay. And I guess the whole country of Brazil has gone nuts over it. And they've gone so far overboard nuts over it that the CW has actually commissioned a new Wonder Woman show based on that character that's coming out. And the book hasn't even come out yet.
Awesome.
Yeah. So those are the only ones I'm actually interested in.
That's fantastic. You learn something new every day, I guess. Who's the Detective Comics Batman? Is that the same guy?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Whatever. All right. Let's go ahead and get to our first comment. I guess I'm up first. And This is about the whole reboot topic that Bob came up with.
I just couldn't think of the word, all right?
Forgot about. Okay, so this one is from Metal Cleargy. It says, reboots should be done only rarely. And when they are, they should be done extremely well thought out. But instead, they are more than often as cop-outs for the next lame round of stories or art. So I wanted... Reboots and relaunches are a little bit different, okay? Mm-hmm. Relaunch is like a series that just like, I guess you would just... It's been away for a while and they just come back. Like the Eternals is coming out this week,
right.
Which I read that book. It was a horrible, by the way. But a reboot is just like, it's an ongoing series and they just reboot it with something new. Now, one thing I've noticed... How do you feel about the writers' reboots? Okay, like I'll give you an example. I got a couple here. Mm-hmm. So we had the Jason Aaron run of Thor. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then they're like, "Hey, we want to put Donny Cates on Thor, so we're just gonna stop it." After it was only like 15 issues, and we'll just make Thor a brand new number 1. Mm-hmm. And that's what they did. Okay, and they did the same thing for Guardians of the Galaxy because Donny Cates was doing Guardians of the Galaxy the first 12 issues, and instead of having, was it Jason Aaron took it over?
No, it was
somebody took it over.
Was it Al Ewing?
Maybe, yeah. Al Ewing took it over, and instead of just going to issue 13, they just said, nope, we're just going to number 1 again. Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about that when they just decide to do that just because it's based on the writer and the team that's going to go on there, especially like, oh, it's Donny Cates, so we could just kind of give him a number 1.
Right. Well, I think with the fact with Jason Aaron, it wasn't just 15 issues. It was quite a long run. It was like 4 or 5 years, and it was a pretty prolific run on Thor. And so I think Jason Aaron had come to the end of what he wanted to tell. Yeah. The problem with Donny Cates is that Donny Cates is so hot at Marvel, they're letting him do whatever he wants. So he's on the Venom title. You know, they give him Silver Surfer for a little while. They give him Guardians of the Galaxy for a little while. And these are all parts of the grand story he's trying to tell. Should they relaunch it into a brand new number 1 for the series? No, I don't think so. I think they should have came out with a special edition, like miniseries for 12 issues. Yeah. I think that would have been the more, the better thing to do. Yeah. But don't relaunch the whole freaking line. Yeah. Just because you want to tell a new story, because Cates is not going to be on it forever. He can't be writing all these books. I mean, he's starting to get more into independent stuff now. Sure. Right? And so, I mean, once Cates is done, are you going to relaunch it again into a number 1? Yeah. And so, I mean, unless it has a story that you're telling continuity-wise that's going to keep going, and Cates' story is part of that plan, then just keep it going. Don't do this relaunch thing.
Yeah. I was like... Cates did the Guardians of the Galaxy, and really that was pretty lackluster. Yeah. I can't think of much out of that 12-issue run that was anything too significant, to be honest. And then they just relaunched it. They just, like, okay, Cates is off. He's going to go do the other thing now. He's going to go do Thor. Mm-hmm. And but we still want a Guardians of the Galaxy. And like I said, instead of just going, the next issue, 13, which is what they did with Flash, and that's a perfect example of Flash. Joshua Williamson was on Flash for the first, 90 issues or whatever it was. Right. And then they brought in a new team at 91. And then he went from there. But the Guardians of the Galaxy, they just said, nope, we're just going to get another number 1. There's a lot of reasons why they do that, and obviously you can look at sales charts, and the sales charts from day 1, if it's a number 1 issue, sells a lot more books than issue number 2. Really, I think that's what it comes down to. Because you don't need to reboot after 12 issues. No. That's just ridiculous, or after 6 issues. Or heck, I think they already rebooted Black Cat. I think number 1 came out again, after Black Cat. And that's pretty funny because Black Cat, I don't know how many issues it was in that series. But like the number 1 issue of Black Cat was like the number 1 selling comic for that month. Okay, just the number 1, obviously, and there's a lot of reasons why that's the number 1 selling book that month. People like to draw the Black Cat in a certain way, and there's a lot of dudes that like that stuff. Yes. And then they're like, hell, let's do it again. After like just a few issues, they just kind of loosely drop that and like, hey, Black Cat number 1's back out, and then all of a sudden there's a bunch of variants, and they're all the whole Black Catness, whatever you want to call it, and dudes jump all over it, and it'll probably be the number 1 selling book of the month. Right. And then number 2, nobody buys it, and it's over. So anyway, I just wanted your opinion on when they do it for the artist or the writer when they switch. I think it's a little bizarre when they do that.
I think it is too.
Okay, I got the next one. Mm-hmm. It's from Simon R. It says reboots usually help the industry with the fact that they introduce books to the new customer that don't know about them. So they help in 2 ways. With new books, and the new customer will go check out the older books as well. Happy New Year, by the way. Awesome. I wrote this down. The new customer at the expense of an existing customer. And how much do you think that comes into play? Okay, for a new customer to see a number 1, it's easier for them to jump on. For an existing customer like us, we get a little frustrated when they reboot all the time. Yeah. So what is more valuable, your existing customer or your new customer? I don't know. I mean, I think loyalty goes a long way, to be honest.
I think so too.
But a lot of times it doesn't feel that way. But I think that these reboots come out at the expense of the loyal customer, and their main focus is for the new customer coming in, wondering where to jump on. So I can't fault them for that, though. It's not like I'm sitting there like, yeah, it's frustrating for me, But I understand it. I understand why they have to reboot every now and then to make it easier for people to jump on. Because a book that has 700 issues can get a little confusing. Where do I start?
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, it's just it's a double-edged sword, really.
Right.
It is what it is. It happens more often now than it ever did before.
Oh, for sure.
That's one thing. That's the problem, because it seems like it's every few months. I mean, I think me and you talked one time, like, how many comic books do we think will actually get to issue 100?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Was that you and I had that conversation
we
or
did.
something? Yeah, and it's like, I don't know of any. They're actually going to get to 100 without getting rebooted. I mean,
Batman just did.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. But I mean, it's really close. I mean, and then they went back to the renumbering or the legacy number for Flash and stuff like that. So it's hard to keep track or whatnot. But as far as getting a book that's going to get to 100, it's very rare. Very rare will you get to that landmark achievement.
Right.
And if you do, you can make 50 different variants for it. So I mean, why? Right?
That makes up for
Isn't
it, right?
That the deal?
But I mean, really, when it comes down to it, you have all these different. What you just said is exactly right. At the expense of the loyal fan who's been around for years, I think that we always get the crap into the stick. Usually, really, seriously, it's like, okay, they're going to be loyal. We've already got a loyal fan base, and we already know a certain percentage of them are not going to go away if we do something different. And so, for us, even though we don't like it, a lot of us sit there and just take it.
Yeah.
And then every once in a while, they throw us a bone. Oh, we're going to throw some legacy number back in, so for the old the old guard. But really, I mean, when it comes down to it, they're about making money.
Yeah.
And, to reinvigorate the market, they've got to bring in new people. And their way of bringing in new people is bringing in a number one comic. When we were growing up, how many number ones did we see on the shelf? It wasn't like very often, was it?
Yeah.
Now you can get a number one every month.
Every week.
Yep. And so there's a trade-off there. For myself, because I'm OCD, I want my numbering system.
So how do you feel about the legacy number?
When they bring it back, I do like it because I can see where I'm at as far as, the full run.
Yeah.
But I don't like that, on some of these things, the way they reboot the character, it makes it feel a lot different than the original.
See, it annoyed the hell out of me when they did it for Flash.
For Flash?
Yeah, I was so excited for Joshua Williamson to have that 100 issue, okay? Mm-hmm. And then, like, right before, or a few issues before, they switched it from, whatever issue it was, 92 or 86 or whatever it was, to 750.
Yeah.
And then from there, it went 751 and 752. I was really looking forward to having a nice run of 100 books.
Yeah. I can see what you're saying.
Then they did the same thing for Wonder Woman. They just went back to the legacy number, and they just forgave all the other numbering of that rebirth. What it was a rebirth?
Rebirth
line. So I mean, all the rebirths are all legacy. You have to go do the math. I don't know if it's on there from the very beginning, but that gets annoying after a while too.
Yeah.
But when they did that for Flash, I was like, man, I didn't want them to. I wanted them to keep it until they got to 100, and then do something like that. But of course, they had the 750 mark, and they could do something with that mark, so they did.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing for Wonder Woman.
I think the only time I got frustrated with it was on Daredevil. The end of Charles Soule's run, they went, from the numbering on volume 5, from 1 to whatever it was, and then they went to legacy numbering, 600 to, I think, 612.
Yeah.
Then they ended the whole series, started with this 4 or 5 issue miniseries called The Man Without Fear. That's when he basically, right? Yep. And then started up with a brand new number 1.
Yeah.
Starting the Donny Cates run. And it was just like...
The Donny Cates run of Daredevil?
Not Donny Cates. Chip Zdarsky's run. Sorry. See, leave me alone, man. but
this is your boy, man. You're wearing the dude.
Anyway, right? But they changed it like so many times over the course of just 5 months, and it was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And it was very frustrating.
Yeah. All right. This is going to be a long video. I got the next one here as well. This is from Ken Lovett. He says, I feel the same way about comic book reboots as do I horror movie reboots. I think they are necessary as the audience changes into a newer generation. I love older comics and older horror movies, more than modern, but this does not keep me from enjoying modern stuff. However, many people do not like older entertainment, and without the modern stuff, they wouldn't get into comics or horror movies. This was interesting because I like that he referenced like movies, horror movies, because I've watched movies with my kid, with my son, and he's like, "This movie looks old."
Yep.
I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
I go, "What do you mean it looks old?" He goes, "It just looks old.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it." I go, "Really? Really? Raiders of the Lost Ark looks old?"
Yeah.
I go, "Come on, man." And he needs the gloss and the shine for him to kind of watch the movie or whatever it was. And so I kind of referenced when he said that. That's kind of what was brought to my mind, because people like new stuff. As much as we probably like older stuff. That's the thing about comic books. You and I like the old stuff, we like the new stuff, but really our passion is with the older stuff.
Yeah.
But, publishers don't deal in older stuff. All they do is new stuff. Their goal is to just make new. They don't make old, they make new. Yeah. So every week it's new.
They reprint the old.
Yeah, well, they reprint it, but it's just not the same thing,
Right.
But every week it's a new story. It's a new book. Everything is new. They don't care about the old.
Yeah.
It doesn't make them any money.
No.
Whether you buy a copy of, the first appearance of Silver Surfer, it doesn't make Marvel any money.
Nope.
It doesn't make them any money at all. It's all secondary market, so their money is all in the first tier.
Yeah.
The new books. What's new? The brand new shiny book that comes out. So, newness sells, apparently. And I guess kids don't like old stuff.
They don't. Even my kids, I try to turn my son onto the older stuff in comics, and he does not like the older stuff.
He does, yeah.
When I look at the pages of AF 15, and you see the origin of Spider-Man, it looks just so much different than it does now. It's very wordy,
sure,
and it doesn't do anything for them. To me, it was the greatest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
But for my son, it doesn't do anything for him. He wants, less words, more pictures.
Yeah.
And, he loves the new artwork, the feel of the new book. He does not like the newsprint pages like what we had. And I can see what this guy's talking about.
Like Batman the Killing Joke, okay? Some people think that's old.
Exactly.
And then they like, no, I want to read the Three Jokers instead. I'm like, trust me. You're missing out if you choose Three Jokers over the Killing Joke.
Right.
But no, it's newer, so I want that one.
Right.
That's something my son would say.
Yeah.
That's something he would say that easily. He'd be like, "Oh yeah, no, I'll take that one." It's why? It's newer. It looks newer.
Just because you don't like the Baxter paper? Is that what it is?
Yeah, exactly. You are missing out.
Missing out.
All right, Bob. You were finally up after I read 3 in a row.
All right. This one comes in from Harmon Breedveld. He says, "Hi, Bueller and Bob. On reboots, usually there are gimmicks and add nothing to the story. But sometimes the creators and company have become so stuck with a story that it all just muddles along and the great potential of the characters is wasted. Something else is needed then, something courageous. A great example is the X-Men reboot by Hickman. The X-Men had gotten stuck, their story stale, so they took a risk and decided for a dramatic reboot, Hickman style, Krakoa, mutant resurrection, all the mutants working together. The results were spectacular, even though sometimes uneven. Exoswords, I am looking at you."
Okay.
All right.
I wanted someone to bring up X-Men.
Yeah.
Okay? Because let me just show you, in my 3 years of being back for comic books, okay? This is my X-Men reboot pile in the last 3 years, right here. And we'll start off, I'm even missing one. So when I first got back 3 years ago, it was X-Men Gold, okay? And also X-Men Blue. So it was X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue. Then there came like X-Men Red. And some of these are out of order, I understand. Then there was X-Men Black. This was just a small little, they did 4 different ones, okay? And then there was Astonishing X-Men.
Yep.
All right? This is within the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And then finally, they're like, you know what? We're going to dump all those, the red, the blue, the fuchsia, whatever colors they are, and we're going to go old school, and we're going to go Uncanny X-Men. And I was excited for this title because, for one, I'm a fan of the font.
Yeah.
As simple as that. I just like the header. That's the old school Uncanny X-Men logo. I wanted to see that. Okay. Yep. So they rebooted this with something like 80 different covers. I remember that. I covered it. And it was awesome. I was pretty excited. Okay. Didn't quite go as well as what they thought. Maybe, I don't know. I thought it was doing just fine, to be honest. I think they were like 12 issues in. And they're like, nope. We're gonna cancel it. And we're gonna reboot it. And not only are we gonna reboot it, but we're gonna start off with an event. And we're gonna reboot it with House of X. We're gonna do 6 issues of those. And then we're gonna do 6 more issues of Power of X. Just to get you ready. Just to get you ready to buy the book.
Yeah.
That's all that did. And then we're going to come out with a brand new, with the worst font ever. By the way, I hate that font.
Yeah,
X-Men #1. And now you have this. So this is what we've went through in the last 2.5 years just to get to this title. And really, most of this has happened within less than 2 years, to be honest, because this is, I think we're on issue, 15 of X-Men, and there was like a 3-month gap this year. So really, within a shorter period of about 2 years, we went through about 8 different X-Men titles or reboots to get to this. Okay, and now there's a whole universe of X-Men. With the X-Force, X-Factor. I mean, you name it, they got the whole thing going on. That's a little much.
It's more than a much.
And they're total reboots. I mean, they're like, oh no, we're just starting over.
Right.
And we're going from here. I mean, we got this might be a little confusing, so we better make a 12-issue limited series to kind of prepare people for this.
Right.
And so that's what they did, and then now we're on to this. And I'm still confused. I'm more confused than I've ever been.
Yeah.
And I don't, I mean, that sounds horrible, but I don't know. X-Men has been the one that, when I think of reboots, it's the one that just popped out in my mind right away. It's just like the proof is right there. I mean, that's all that I'm probably forgetting some, to be honest.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I was very excited about Hickman rebooting the X-Men universe. Because he was basically telling one concentric story, that encapsulated everything, which I think it needed. But then when you look at the X-Men universe and what they've done with it, there's way too many characters now.
Yeah.
And then the mix of the fact that there's way too many characters, it really needs to be its own universe separate from everything else that's going on in Marvel.
Yeah.
I want, truthfully, for myself, I want to go back to the old days when I had my core team.
Sure.
And just focus on that, because what you've done now is made it so confusing. You make it so that you have to buy every book, and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I right at about, 4 or 5 books in after the Ten of Swords, I dropped the whole thing because I just started to get too confused.
Yeah. We're older, we get confused easily. What are you gonna do? Anyway, that's the perfect example of just a reboot after reboot after reboot.
Yeah.
Until they, quote, maybe get it right. I don't know if they have, to be honest. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we get another reboot of X-Men.
Right.
Can this title make it the 50?
I don't think so.
Let's take a bet.
Well,
let's do a bet right now. We'll bet you $1.
There you go. Well, the way they're doing it, no.
Yeah.
Because they're taking small runs. Yeah. Right? I mean, you got X-Force for a little while, and they start Hellions, and then, I don't think any of the titles are meant to go that long, really. So I don't know what they're going to do with it.
If this title makes it to 50, me and Bob will eat a fillet of fish.
Oh.
You don't like fillet of fish?
No.
Perfect.
There we go.
There you go. Whatever. All right, Bob, you're up next.
All right. This one comes from Mr. W. He says, reboots feel so overdone now. I don't mind the odd one, but they are far too common. I'd rather just read new characters than constant reboots of the classics.
This was an example right here.
Yeah.
What we just saw with the X-Men. How often do they happen? They're happening more often than they ever have. Especially on titles like this, that have a huge audience, that they know will have a huge audience, and they just keep on doing it and doing it. My hat's off to some of the titles that have been going for a while right now. Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man is still going. They haven't rebooted it, and that's actually one I was like, dude, they need to reboot it. I think I said that one time. Mm-hmm. But the story's gotten a little bit better, and they've switched some things up, and it's actually doing a little bit better title right now. Yeah. So that one's like on 50-something or whatnot, and then it has all those LR ones, which are just ridiculous.
Right.
But but for the most part, you don't get more than 20 or 30 issues in before it's time for a change. So
right.
It does happen too much. Okay, you got the next one as well.
Yeah, this one comes from John Thomas, my good buddy. He says, personally, I don't mind reboots as long as they're used sparingly. Ideally, I would like publishers to establish a set number of books in a volume, maybe a 50 or 100 issue volume, and then reboot back to one at the conclusion of said volume. I don't know, just my 2 cents. Thanks. I've thought long and hard about that.
Yeah.
And I think, based upon what we're seeing inside of independent books, I don't think that's a bad idea.
Yeah. I like that John, he gave a solution. Mm-hmm. Honestly, a lot of these comments are just, I understand the problem. Right. John actually came up with a direction to go to possibly solve it. I like that as well. I like the fact that you could do volumes or whatnot, and go from there. And that's kind of something that like TKO does, mm-hmm. With their volumes of books or something like that. It's a new volume, but it's the numbering system starts over, but it's a different volume. I would like something like that. If it was set, now it obviously has to do with sales. They're not going to come out and say, hey, we're going to do 100 issues of these, and that will be the volume 1. Well, if by issue 10 the sales aren't there, they're not just going to keep on making 90 more books that are losing money. So it's kind of hard to say that, go that far. 50 or 25 or something like that, maybe that's a little bit more doable to commit to and say, yeah, we're going to do 25 of these or whatnot,
Right.
But honestly, a lot of books don't make it past 4 or 5 issues.
Most of them don't.
Yeah. So, it's, I like that he gave a solution to it. And I like that solution. I think it's not a bad idea. I wish that they would adopt that, for especially the ones that they know.
Right.
Batman is going to be an ongoing title forever. Superman will be, Spider-Man, X-Men. Those will be titles that go on forever and ever and ever. I don't know if Nightwing will get another volume or whatever. You know what I'm talking about,
right?
Or Hawkman or whatnot. Stuff like that. But on the big titles, you can do it like that.
Absolutely,
no problem. All right, I got the next one here. It's just from Leo Peralta. He says reboots are okay if done right. The problem is that they are not done right most of the time. Talking mostly about the big 2 publishers. They reboot all the time, and when they do, there are like 100,000 variants. I'm elaborating. It actually says 1,000, but we're just going to say 100,000 variants of number 1. It feels like a cash grab when it's done this way. They should use the reboot once in a while. It is a cash grab for the variants. And it's not really a reboot, because there hasn't really been an Eternals book for quite some time.
Yeah, but your video this week really shows the disparity of what's going on with variants on that book.
Yeah, it's like, and no offense to the artist, they're not that great.
No.
Nobody fought me on that. It's like, a lot of times I'll say something in a video and they'll be like, what do you mean, or whatnot. And my comment was, out of all these 50 variants, the quality of the variant is not that great. They don't look that good. And everyone was like, you're right, they don't. Maybe a couple out of the 50.
Right.
But there is no reason for any of those to be variants.
Right.
To be honest. And it's a total cash grab.
For sure.
Because I'm pretty sure every one of those is available at your comic shop. I don't think any of those were, maybe a couple were exclusives, but for the most part, those are all, they can order them on Diamond, from what I understand, or ratio variants or whatever, they just weren't that great,
no.
And it's just like, I don't know.
Well, I have a theory on that as well. I mean, how many people have you ever talked to that said Eternals was my number 1 favorite book?
Yeah, nobody.
Nobody ever. That I've ever talked to. There may be some out there, I don't want to offend anybody if that's your favorite book.
That one person.
Yeah, and that's fine. But, artists are like cooks, right?
Yeah.
They cook for themselves. They draw for themselves, what they're passionate about. Yeah. If you have a company that says, hey, throw me out a bunch of Eternals covers, right? If there's these characters that I'm not passionate about, I'm going to try to come up with something inspiring. Guess what? It's not going to be as inspiring as something that really grabs me.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what we're seeing inside of something like this.
Yeah.
As opposed to when you showed on the same video, you show all the Venom variants, which were all phenomenal.
Yeah, they're all awesome.
Because so many people love the character Venom. Now, I'm not saying that an artist can't take something that they're not inspired with and create something great with it.
Yeah.
But I don't think when you have something on the fly where the company comes out and says, hey, put out a bunch of covers for this, I don't think you're going to get the same passion and inspiration from on those covers that you would from somebody that their favorite character is about.
It's to me, it's almost like they Marvel. I'm just making this up, but it's like they sent out a memo to all artists. Say, hey, do me a favor, draw a cover of what you would do for Eternals. And they just drew up a draft and sent it in. And then Marvel's like, we're just going to do every one of these. Maybe that's what it was. Right. I don't know. But I don't know. I was just like, okay. Yeah. It is what it is. So
yeah, it's ridiculous.
But like out of the Venom ones that you brought up there was like, I think there was like 8 different, variants, and the versions of that variant. But half of those were store exclusives that were on there. So it's not like they were just like... there's only like 3 at your local comic shop. The rest are exclusives that are people are getting done. Yeah. Because they look awesome, and they know that it will sell. And that was not the case for Eternals. People didn't like, I don't want an Eternals one.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that book's gonna bomb. I mean, I'm sorry. I read it. Yeah. And I looked at it. I didn't like the artwork. I didn't care for it. I mean, I don't want to get too spoilery or anything, but it did not keep my attention. Yeah. And I mean, that's the most I'll get into it, I guess. So.
Yeah, it's on my pull list, but I'm not excited about it.
Yep. So all right, so I got the next one as well. This is from Bugger Lugs. He says, "Really?
I love it."
I understand for a long time comic readers why they don't like reboots, but for me, someone who is just kind of getting into comics, it has helped a lot and has made it more accessible, in my opinion. I also feel like it refreshes everything up from the writers and artists standpoint. It also always generates some buzz, meaning people who are vaguely into DC or Marvel hear about it and can make them want to buy it. Yeah, here's the thing. The thing about the reboots, I see every point. And I can't, like I said, I can't blame them for doing it. So I get it, and we said this when you came in here, when we were reading the comments. Mm-hmm. This is like right down the line. Like people hate it, people like it. There wasn't like a one size fits all. It was like divided. Like people understood it, people didn't like it, but it was like a 50-50 split. And a lot of times that's not the case, when we're talking about a certain topic. Sure. So I think a lot of people understand it, and why they do it and what the purpose is. Sometimes it can seem like a money grab. We've kind of talked about that and stuff, but for me, getting back into comics again, I was more than happy to jump on a number 1 as opposed to jumping on a 620. Does that sound kind of weird?
Yeah, I mean, I think it came out dirtier than you meant it to be. But I hear exactly what you're saying. But I mean, when I was growing up, Spider-Man was already at, 180 or something like that when I first started. Maybe it was a little, I don't know, somewhere around there. Sure. Hulk was already up there. All my favorite titles already had legacy numbering. I had to hop in somewhere. Yeah. And Marvel has always made it so that if this is your very first Marvel title, sure, they do something at the very beginning and give you a synopsis of the story, so you can just pretty much hop in if this is your first comic being introduced to it. And so I've always enjoyed that about Marvel. I don't think any other company has, put themselves out to do it like that. But they've always made it accessible. So whether it's a number 1 or whether it's 300, you got to hop on at some point if you want to get into it. But I think you're right. It does make it easier to hop on when there's a number 1 comic. Yeah. And I do think that does reinvigorate the industry.
It does. I think it does its part. All right, you got the next one there, Bob.
Sure. Okay, so this one comes from Samuel Bankston. He says, don't like reboots, mainly the change of the origin and going through the origin again. But maybe it's necessary to keep it fresh for something that's been around for 70 plus years. Yeah. He makes a point there.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before. 70 years of a character, you got to come up with something new, you know, and something different, and I mean, they're just, the news this last week, did you look at Spider-Man's new costume? Right. It's something new that we'll talk about. Yeah. Will it stick around more than a month? Probably not. We'll be right back to the old costume that's been for the last 70 years. Right. Or a variation of that costume, but for the most part, the same thing. Yeah. It's just a quick talking point to generate a little bit of buzz. And by the way, that new Spider-Man costume, I don't even know if that is Spider-Man. But me and Robbie were talking about that. Me and him both feel as though that's not Spider-Man. That's someone else. He said he thinks it's his buddy That's been the one, the boomerang guy or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, I know you talk. Yeah.
So we kind of putting that out there that we don't think it's Spider-Man. We don't have any proof of this.
Proof, right.
We're just saying.
Great conversation, though.
But 70 years, you do have to change some stuff up,
Sure.
And so I get it,
Yeah.
I think that I would almost like there to be almost like a set schedule. And this next comic kind of gets into the because I don't know, you'll have to help me on this a little bit. Marvel has always been doing their books, okay? And for the most part, they haven't, unless I'm missing something over the last 20 years I didn't collect, they didn't like reboot the universe, okay? They rebooted some titles and stuff, but they didn't just like do a hard reset. Am I right on that? Or
I think you're pretty much right. I don't remember ever Marvel resetting their universe.
Okay. Now,
except for creating more stuff in their like multiverse, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I mean, when I was a kid, it was just Earth 616.
Sure.
Come back into comics, and there's multiple Earths.
Yeah. Now DC has literally pressed the reset button with New 52, if I'm not mistaken. Like I said, these ones I'm not familiar with, so I'm kind of going with you to help me and you watching as well. But from what I understand, the New 52 was basically just a reset of the whole DC universe.
Right.
And Rebirth was another reset of the whole DC universe. And the 5G thing was supposed to be a thing that's not really a thing anymore, but that was going to be another thing where they just reset the universe. And I think the first thing that set this off was Crisis on Infinite Earth or something like that. Like I said, my knowledge on this topic isn't that great. But resetting the whole universe that's a big pill to swallow,
Yeah. I mean, well, with DC Comics, they were out of control.
Yeah.
I mean, since the beginning, they had so many different stories on so many different worlds. It became so confusing that's what, Crisis on Infinite Earths were. There's too many freaking worlds.
Yeah.
We're going to have the Anti-Monitor come, and we're going to start devouring them all until there's just down to one. Basically what, everybody kind of wanted.
Sure.
And so, but then that caused another problem with their stories not being able to be as free with Elseworlds type stuff.
Sure.
And so then they relaunched, and now you got 52 worlds now. I think that's how it went.
Yeah.
And then it became so confusing with all the different Crisis events that this last Dark Knight's Death Metal actually has a way of tying them all together, right, to make it into one cohesive story. So it's back to being one story again, somewhat.
And now Future State comes out.
Right.
Which is a totally different thing.
Yeah, I mean, so they've taken some leaps and some chances that the other company has not done.
Yeah.
And, because it was really confusing. And it's still confusing.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Right.
We got to reboot this episode. All right, man, you got the last one.
Sure thing.
This is from Dink.
Dink thinks. All right, Dink. He says, you asked for it. I am not a fan of reboots. All they do is muddy continuity, and the main purpose is a short-term increase in revenue for the publisher. It is a lazy and cheap move. These characters are so rich in history that they should be able to hire talent who can knock our socks off while also carrying on the legacy of classic storylines and happenings. As a collector, it's infuriating. I would much rather have one clean volume of Amazing Spider-Man instead of 5 volumes that have zero direction or purpose in hindsight. It's the one thing that DC had done right until New 52 screwed their legacy books. What really pisses me off is they want to capitalize on those big milestone numbers, so they switch back to legacy numbering. No regard for the long-term collectors, and rant.
There you go. Dink thinks.
Thank you, Dink. And you make some great points here. When it comes to that legacy numbering, sometimes I do like when it goes back to it. I talked about that earlier. But really, he's right when it talks about hiring talent, to knock our socks off on books. I think with the reboots, I'm sick and tired of them coming out with stuff just arbitrarily because a movie's coming out, or because they haven't done this character for a certain amount of time, and they just throw it out there and it's crap.
Yeah.
Right. Why don't they do comic books like they do movies and pre-screen them?
Yeah.
Right. Put it out there to a certain a part of the community to say, read this and tell me if you like it. And when everybody comes back and says it's crap, don't publish that.
Or fix it.
Or fix it, exactly. Because until you do something like that, then you're just putting out stuff that, I mean, really brings down the value of your company as a whole. That's my opinion. I would like to see them fix that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, like I said before, I think reboots or relaunches are necessary, but don't just overdo it. Don't do it just to do it. You know, and that's the thing. They're just right now. They're just doing it just to do it. It's like, you know what? Let's just do this. We made a lot of money with the Black Cat #1. There's no reason to do it, reboot it. Okay, to have another #1 of Black Cat or whatnot. You know, but they just did it. You know, just because they knew it would do well. If there's a reason, significant reason, you know, like it's the end of a huge long story arc or whatnot. You know, like if you know, Tom King won the right Batman for 100 issues. He didn't end up doing the whole 100 issues, okay, because it fell off and he got released. I don't know what the whole thing is with that, to be honest. But anyway, if his run was going to be the 100 issues and that was it, I would have been, you know what? Reboot it.
Yeah.
Reboot it. You know, start over. He did his 100-issue run. That's what he set out to do at the very beginning. He did it. He told the story arc that went from literally issue 1 to 100. And then that would have been good. And then if they had a new Batman #1 and all the hype on that, that'd be great. And if that went for another 100 issues, fantastic.
Yeah.
100 issues, volume 1. 100 issues, volume 2. On those big titles like that, that's exactly what they should do.
For sure.
So I'd be okay with that.
Yeah. But let me just end with my fear. My fear is we have a couple of movies that are going to be coming out in the next couple of years with some beloved characters, right? Really? I don't want to see Blade or Moon Knight rebooted with arbitrary crap that's just there for a money grab without them putting some real good talent on those books and just completely muddle the water for new readers that are going to come in and completely destroy those characters. Yeah. I don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you're going to do another Sons of Midnight or Marvel Knights, you do it right.
Yep.
But don't take Blade and Moon Knight and some of these other characters they haven't done for a while and completely destroy them just because you're going to pump it out and make some money.
And also, they don't even need movies to do that. I mean, they've relaunched Iron Man 3 times this year.
Yeah.
And there was Iron Man, the Tony Stark Iron Man, and they went to the Iron Man 2020 thing.
2020, yeah.
And then now they're on Iron Man again.
Right.
The same year, 2020. Whatever, right?
It's crazy.
All right, that's our topic.
That's our topic.
Forget
it was
about
a great
it.
Discussion.
Yeah, that's good. We didn't accomplish anything, but that's all right. Okay, let's go to our final 5 brought to you by Comic Proline. You want to go first?
Why not? Okay, so these are more of the books that our good friend Eric sent to me. And you guys will remember these. This is the original Aliens miniseries from Dark Horse Comics. Here's issue #1. And he sent me the whole series. So here's issue #2. These are all first prints. Here's issue #3. Eric, thank you very much. These are all
great covers.
All great covers.
Yep.
Issue #4. And then the last one is another Ice Cream Man, and he sent me issue #8 of Ice Cream Man. So there's my final 5.
I'm really disappointed that you didn't have Aliens #5.
But there wasn't.
There's other Aliens books.
He actually sent me another miniseries of Aliens, but it was 4.
All right, whatever.
Whatever.
All right. What are you gonna do? I was really looking forward to that.
Sorry to disappoint you.
Okay, I got my 5 here. Amazing Spider-Man 55 Last Remains.
I wanted that cover.
You didn't get it?
I don't know if I did or not. I don't think so.
Oh yeah, that's probably they had extra ones.
I hope so.
I don't know. I got the Del Auto cover too.
Nice.
Because you don't get his covers pretty much as just a regular cover buy.
Hardly anymore.
Wolverine #8, the the nullified version. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, I love that cover.
Ice Cream Man.
Yes.
#22, the ice cream one. Mm-hmm. I like that one. And then this one, Thor #331. This is just one of my favorite Thor books. Thor actually dies, and he's in a fight. He gets stabbed. He dies. They take him to the place. He gets healed. He comes back and he wins.
That's awesome.
It's great. It's a great comic book, you know.
There we go.
So it's one of the books I kept in my collection over 30 years. It's just
awesome.
It made it for some reason. So I don't know why.
You enjoyed the story.
Apparently. So there you go.
That's good stuff.
Have you ever read that one?
I think I have. I don't remember.
You don't remember.
I don't remember.
That's the theme of this show.
That's the
we
thing.
don't remember.
That's a great thing about being, getting older as well. Yeah. I go back and read stories I read 20 years ago and be like,
it's
this
brand
is great.
New.
There we go. Anyway.
Awesome, man. All right, let's go to our next thing. Let's go to Robbie's Pick of the Week.
Hey everybody, I'm Rockin' Robbie Billups from Pop Culture Philosophers Station. You're checking out the all-new Coffee and Comic Show, and my pick of the week is...
Batman Annual number 5 by DC Comics. I've heard that this is an amazing issue. I have not got my new comics for this week yet. Yeah. I'm getting them today. But I've heard it's an amazing issue. It's the last of the Tynion runs until Future State is over with.
Yep.
And I heard it's amazing.
Yeah, this is the last Batman we get until 106 when it comes out in March. Mm-hmm. This is the origin story of the clown killer or hunter, whatever his name is, the young kid. Mm-hmm. Kind of how he became who he is. Great character. This is one of the standout characters. I actually enjoy this character more than I do Punchline, to be honest. And I'm pretty excited that they gave the full treatment, because this is by Tynion. He wrote this as well, even though it's an annual, he's doing that one, so that's pretty cool. I haven't read it yet. I'm behind. We're both actually behind on reading our books, but Robbie read it. He said it was his pick of the week. I gotta trust Robbie, and I do, just a simple fact that Tynion's writing it. And I've loved this Batman run that he's been on ever since when he took it over from Tom King. So do me a favor, if you haven't checked out Robbie's channel, go ahead and do so. It's Pop Culture Philosophers. It'll pop up right here. It's one of my favorite channels. I talk about too much, to be totally honest, but you know what? It's well deserved.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about it even more.
Even more.
There you go. That's Robbie's pick of the week. Like I said, go check him out. We're going to go ahead and do, we haven't read our books this week. It's Christmas time, New Year's. We've been busy and stuff. Like Bob said, he hadn't picked up his books yet. So our Was It Good segment, we don't have that, but we're going to tell you what we're going to read this week, and we'll have that back next week. So Was It Good? As far as from what I'm going to read, Thor, number 11. Scout's Honor, number 1. I think that's by Aftershock.
Aftershock, yeah.
And the Swamp Thing, the Future State, number 1. Looking forward to that. Which ones are you reading?
So a lot of great books coming out this week. So the first one to be Venom 32. Really looking forward to that.
Nice.
There's a book by Boom Studios called The Last Witch that I'm really looking forward to reading. I think you've already read it.
Yeah, I got a copy of it. I'll give it to you before you leave.
That'd be awesome. And then the other one is Batman, the new Batman Future State book. I'm really excited to see what they do with that one.
The $8 book.
The $8 book. And if I tell you what, if it wasn't for the premise of what they're doing with that book, I don't know if I'd be as excited as I am for it. I think Lucius Fox's whatever descendant becoming Batman is a great idea.
So tune in next week and we will tell you if they were any good or not.
Yeah.
Because was it good? I don't know. We haven't read it yet.
We haven't read it yet.
Although, have I read any of these yet? I did read The Last Witch. You want to know if it's any good?
No.
Good. I'm
wait till next week. I don't want my review muddled.
There you go. I might have to borrow the Batman from you.
Sure.
I'll just give it a read. I ain't paying the $8.
Not a problem.
That's it.
I think this was a great discussion.
Yeah, man, I had a good time. It's probably longer than I thought it would go. Honestly, when I thought about the topic, I was like, because like I said, Bob came up with a topic. We got to plan it right. It's got to be, in the realm of what people are talking about that week, and this is a perfect time for it. With the Future State. So I'm glad we had this in the bag, because initially I had a different topic for this week. And we'll do that next week or whatever. So
right.
But I think it was a good conversation. But I wanted to tell you, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
And this is the first coffee show of 2021, episode 106. And I wanted to kind of say a few things about our year last year for the Bueller channel. And one of the big things last year on the Comics with Bueller channel was adding Bob to the channel on a regular basis. But I want to just give you some numbers from 2020, because everyone talks about how bad 2020 was, and you know what, it was bad. But we're gonna talk about some positive things right here.
Yeah, come
on. We picked up 9,000 subscribers last year.
Wow.
9,000 people, so more than doubled our subscription base. So thank you so much. Let's see. 185,000 hours watched of Comics with Bueller.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
185,000 hours people watched us, you, me, act like idiots on camera. And over 1,080,000 times the people click play on our videos last year.
That blows me away.
That's awesome, man.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So when I was looking at that, because my year-end stats popped up the other day, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And, those are all awesome, numbers, and they're all because of you guys watching. So, I look at that as that's a positive. All those are just positive. I mean, even if those numbers were just 1 each, it's a positive, to be totally honest. But, man, when I think of how many hours people spent with us and, how many times people press play, that's... I'll take it.
Absolutely.
So,
but thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. Thank you for the support.
Yeah.
That blows me away.
Yeah. So 2021, maybe we can double that. I don't know.
Wow.
And I'm hoping that Bob makes some content. Let me tell you guys something real quick. So I know, we're just going to sit back and relax here.
All right, go for it.
So I know you guys are wondering, man, when Bob is going to put out some more videos, because we love Bob, and he's really uncomfortable right now.
I am.
Just so you guys know, I know a lot of people are like, Bob, when are you going to make content? I do the same thing to him. I'm on him all the time. All the time. Bob, how come you haven't made a video? Bob, it's been 2 weeks. And look how uncomfortable he is right now.
Yeah, I am.
And we were supposed to do our books of the month of December. It's Bob's turn to do it. I haven't heard a word from him about it. Look at him. Now he's like, what? I don't know what I'm talking about. But you know what? We need Bob content because we like Bob.
Thank you.
We like Bob. Hashtag we like Bob. Do it, Bob. Hashtag do it, Bob.
Yeah. I do have a lot of things coming.
He does. But we hear that quite a bit, don't we? That's the thing. do we not hear that quite a bit? I'm working on some stuff. We hear that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And you know what? Because honestly, if I had Bob full time, there's no limit to what we could do. But that's
This is true.
That's not the case, and I understand that. But
I have a full-time job, and then I have a secondary job when I do my pastor work at the church.
Yeah.
I got to take care of my family.
Yeah.
And sometimes I just
other people want you, Bob. You just gotta have to accept it. Did I not read that to you? Listen to this: 9,000 new subscribers.
Yeah.
Over 1 million times people click play. 185,000 hours they spent with us.
That's awesome.
They want Bob.
Thank you.
What about Bob?
Thank you, man.
We got to get some more Bob.
Okay, can I stop being uncomfortable?
Yeah, this is awesome. I just really wanted to just start off 2021, just letting them know, like, come on, dude.
Thank you, pal. I appreciate you.
We want you, buddy. So, but it's out of respect and love. He does some really good stuff, and the more content that Bob's able to make, whether it's a video a week or a video a month, whatever he's able to do is awesome. So whatever is on your plate, you can bring to the table. Bring it.
Absolutely.
People like it and enjoy it. So
appreciate it. Well, my channel is Everything Comics, and I do have my brand new show that starts this next week, which is reviews, previews, and back issue breakdowns. And then I also have another CGC unboxing coming this week, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, let's talk about that really quick.
What's that?
Well, we're just going. It's going to be a long... I've already accepted the fact that this is going to be a long episode. You know what? We're starting off the year right. Okay, let's talk about CGC really fast, because there's a video I watched earlier in the week.
Oh my gosh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Are you talking about Two Brothers?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Now let me just say something real quick. You guys all know how
Justin, I love you, bro.
You guys all know how I feel about grading books and stuff. And I've said this to Bob.
Yeah.
Why do you keep sending them back to them? If there's so many mistakes, and that's kind of the impression I get. And personally, I don't have any firsthand experience. I've never used them. But I always see these videos where people send stuff in the CGC. They get it back. Either they don't get the grade they don't agree with, or there's something wrong with the case or whatnot, or something, and they get upset. And then the next week, they send off another dozen. And the next week, another dozen and another dozen. I don't get that. I don't understand. And I'm just putting it out there because I watched that video for Two Brothers. He was pissed.
Yeah.
He had the scratch on the case.
Cussing up a storm.
Yeah, and then the grade wasn't the right grade. You've had a very similar experience. The reason I say this is because I know that been proven that there's a better option out there that seems to have a better track record. And that's the guy we had on here, Steve Borak.
Right.
And I don't understand why people don't go to that service instead.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
All right, here's the reason why.
Yeah.
Like for myself,
most
of the CGC stuff I'm sending in is not for my personal collection.
Sure.
It's because I want the highest price dollar amount that I can get on a book. If I get a 9.8, I can flip that for the highest price.
Sure.
A CGC 9.8 goes for more money than a CBCS 9.8, and that's the reason why. That's the only reason why for me.
Okay.
If it's going to go in my personal collection, I'd actually go CBCS because of the fact that their cases are guaranteed for life.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have to recase them later on down the road. So if it's going to my personal collection, I'm sending in to CBCS. That's just it.
Now, what about the money you're throwing away from CGC when you're getting back stuff that's scratched or stuff? I mean, people always, it's worth more. Mm-hmm. But what about the money you're spending right then and there
for you said that
to replace the pack or to get it regraded or, man, it wasn't what it is because nobody really thinks in real time. They think of down the road.
This is true.
You know, it sells for more. When in fact you ended up spending more money than what it's worth because you had to redo it or whatnot or resubmit it or have someone else press or clean it or whatnot. You know, I don't get it. I mean, like I said, it's still not my thing.
Right.
You know, I'm not trying to bash anybody's CGC or whatnot. But when I watch videos like that, I'm the type of consumer. If I get burned once, I get it. If I get burned again and again and again, I don't use it.
Yeah.
I just said, you know what? Especially if there's another option.
Right.
If there's no other option, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. But if there's another option, maybe the selling price, like you said, isn't as much, but it's not like a huge amount. And as consumers, we can fix that. You know, especially if your reputation is better. I mean, if I sit there and I say, man, this person's reputation is better on this, and this. And the only thing that's better about this one is for some reason it sells better.
Well, Steve said it on the video that we watched. He said the only reason why it's that way is because they've been in business for about 10 years longer than he has. That's the only reason why.
Yeah.
So it will come.
Yeah.
Right? But if I'm going to make the buck now, that's what I'm doing. And how I've been able to somewhat fix my problem with them, and might as well go into it, because we're going to have some giveaways this next week.
I forgot about that.
And so, first of all, before I get into the last part,
hour and a half long video today.
Hour and a half long video. But my good friend Eric Strubble at the Rogue Trader, and his website is theroguetraderutah.com. You can go there. He has comics for sale, but he also has a pressing and cleaning service.
Sure.
Really good friend of the show. He supports us all the time. He's actually given me 3 coupons to be able to give away on the show for $15 off his pressing and cleaning service. And I'll tell you that if you watch my last CGC unboxing, and you'll see this week, I'm going to guarantee that the ratio of 9.8s will be much higher than they've ever been on my videos in the past because of starting to use Eric's service.
Yeah.
He's really good at grading. He's really good at pressing, and he has a lot of experience in looking at different issues. Every book has a different issue, right? And he's got a lot of experience in being able to take care of individual issues.
Didn't you have your books pressed and cleaned one time by CGC?
That's right. And
how'd that turn out?
Terrible. I'll never use their service again. Right?
We have a better option for you.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
There you go.
So if you want to try out their service, you can go to their website. But if you leave in the comments on this video,
just leave a comment.
Just leave a comment. Yeah, just leave a comment. It doesn't matter.
You're entered.
Yeah, you're entered. We got 3 people who win that coupon, and then 1 lucky winner. The other option is, TKO is another one of the sponsors for my channel. I'm going to be giving away. We're going to be giving away 2 of the series from TKO. One is Sarah, which has been they're on their 3rd printing now.
Sure.
And then there's other one called 7 Deadly Sins, which is a lot of fun. It's a great read. But one winner will win both of these. You could be able to try out some TKO stuff.
There you go.
And so there you have it. But I mean, as far as I'm concerned with the stuff coming back from CGC, you really need to make sure that you're having your stuff pressed.
Yeah.
And Eric's service is a really good service. And so far, my ratio has gone way up.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you find a good cleaner and presser, that goes a long way, I guess.
It sure does.
I met a guy who does pressing and cleaning when I was in Florida, and he does it right there, and he just takes it right over to CGC to have him grade it. Actually, he's a fan of the show, and I got his information. I'm horrible with names. You guys all know that. But I think we're probably going to make some content with him, like just on pressing and cleaning how it's done.
That'd be awesome.
And stuff. So it's something I want to do in the future. And there's actually some other stuff I want to do with some of the artists I met in Florida as well. I want to spotlight them a little bit. You know, I'm kind of scattering their art throughout the background of the videos and stuff. And then eventually I will, you know, feature them more so on the channel. Just as far as Christmas, first of the year, it was kind of busy. So I just kind of got backed up. But now that we're clear that, now I can focus on that stuff. So
for sure, a lot of great things that happened in 2021.
There you go, man. That was how long is this video? I don't care,
for
man.
sticking with us, guys.
I don't care. 2021. This will be the longest video of 2021. How about that?
Right. It's the first video of the year, and he's making that claim.
What else you want to talk about, Bob?
I don't know.
Let's see. What I got anything around here? My cat's been sitting here the whole time. She's just been fantastic. So
there we go.
So great. We got a giveaway. Just leave a comment in the comments, and you are entered to win that. Bob is handling that. He'll pick the winner, and he'll ship it out and everything, you know, because I'm tired of shipping stuff, man. I shipped so much stuff in December. It was crazy. I'm still shipping stuff, man. I can't take it. I need a breather.
And I'm sorry to cut off the people outside the United States, but the giveaway is only for the people inside the United States at this particular point.
What about the coupon?
The coupon, I can do those for Canada.
There you go, Canada coupon people. But outside of that, the coupon won't work outside?
Huh?
The coupon doesn't work outside the Canada?
No. I'm just saying that people from Canada can win on that one, but as far as the books go,
okay, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. Yeah. I shipped to Canada.
You do now. When you first started, you didn't.
You don't know that.
Yes, I do.
No,
because I remember when you didn't do it.
No, that's a lie.
What?
That's a lie, because you go back. Okay, here's your homework, everyone.
All right.
Go back, watch my very first giveaway video. I think it was for like 250 subscribers. We ship worldwide.
Oh, I'm just going off of your auctions and your comics with your Bueller boxes.
Oh yeah,
Because on those you used to say.
Yeah, that's different. That's because giveaways are different.
Oh, they are.
Giveaways have always been different. I don't because for shipping people are paying money for that. You know, I don't want them to be paid out of pocket for that shipping. Mm-hmm. When it's shipping for giveaways, I don't mind eating the cost on that because it's a giveaway.
Now he's making me feel bad. Okay, so it's open to people in Canada too, okay? This is our relationship, guys.
And 1-0.
Starting off 2021, great.
There you go. All right, everybody, this has been a fun show. Lots of fun.
There we go.
And looking forward to next week or the rest of this week, whatever we're doing. I don't know. We still got to do our other show we were talking about. Actually, we're going to get started on that this week. I'll just send some home with you and stuff like that. Sounds good. Our little speculation show or something. I don't know. But anyway, guys, that's it. This has been fun. Happy New Year, everyone. Good reboot.
Absolutely.
Good reboot. 2021, we've rebooted to 2021. Or 2020, we've rebooted to 2021.
Thank God.
There you go. All right, everybody, don't forget to like and subscribe. You know what to do. We'll see you next time. Bye. Give me a break.
Oh.